Now, we are here at Tamavua Water Treatment Plant. If you can give us an insight on what this water treatment plant does.
So Tamavua treatment plant supplies to most of the sort of elevated areas of Suva. And that's, if you think about the Princess Road, the areas along from Tamavua village, Dukanusuva, Dolusuva, as well as Upper Ragg. So all the elevated areas of Suva are supplied from this treatment plant. Vijay, a couple of years ago, I think we met on this very show. We talked about the challenges that we had in Suva Nasori system. Back then, our challenge was that Suva Nasori was using about 6 million liters a day more than what we could produce. The good news for people of Suva Nasori is that that's no longer the case. We have more production capacity in Suva Nasori than the demand. The Virya treatment plant, which is producing 40 million liters a day, is now online. And as a result, we have the surplus capacity in terms of demand and supply. So what we have done over this period is brought Virya online. So all the areas east of River, Nasori Airport, all the way to River Delta, are now getting water from Virya treatment plant. And, you might have heard in the news on Friday, we had a session in River Delta. We're looking at even extending pipelines to some of these smaller villages where we never had water supply before. So that's already happening in that part. We are also able to build resilience in the system by able to supply areas from Vaila as well as Virya, so we can offset each other. If there's a production issue in one, the other plant can offset. And that security or resilience has already been built all the way from sort of Nasori to Suva port along the coast. That's already in place now. The missing link in the Suva Nasori system now is this Tamavua plant. Right now, we don't have the ability to back up this plant with Virya water. There is, in fact, a project in the pipeline, and pardon the pun, it is a pipeline project, which is about bringing water from Savani to Doloisuva through a new pipeline and a pump station. So once that's in place, we will have the ability to then back up Tamavua plant as well. And then we'll not have the frequent issues that we face in this part of water supply system. Particularly, since Easter, as your listeners would recall, we've actually had a series of events. We did not have just one event. We had a landslip around Easter long weekend. Then we had a third-party contractor damaging one of our pipes. Then we had a 1 week of really heavy rain, and that just closely followed each other. And when that happened, it all felt like just one incident that we've just completely lost the plot. But we were fighting multiple incidents within that span of period. And once the system goes down, it takes a while to recover. So what it felt like almost a month without water, it was because there were series of incidents that were happening here. And I do apologize to the people who are being serviced from this water treatment plant for the disruption they experience. But our challenge is that right now, because of that missing link from Virya, we do have a gap. And sometimes when you think about Tamavua, you almost feel like there's a cruel joke that someone played by creating water authority, that the decisions of the rest of bureaucracy come to fruition with water authority. If you think about people living along, Princess Road, and I get these calls all the time. People say, I've been living here 20 years, it never used to happen. And they're right, it never used to happen 20 years ago. But you look at, all you have to do is just go on Google Earth and look at the area from about Tamavua village to Doloisuva, either side of Princess Road, and see the development. From water supply point of view, the worst place to increase urban density is up the hill. And we've picked an area 170 meters above sea level, and we are required to provide water to these people who, quite rightly, they have legitimately bought houses, and they are expecting water to be delivered, and they're very angry, and rightly so, with us not being able to deliver the water. But think this through in terms of, and you don't have to answer this question, Vijay, but if planners had come to Water Authority and asked, what do you think if we increase the density? Are you okay? Do you think they would have asked us, and do you think we would have said yes? That is something that is partly what's contributing to Tamavua system. There's been high density of development that has happened from about, top of, from pretty much from Tamavua village to Dolesuva, Sakoca, Upper Khalsa. We need, to cater to that, we needed to boost our pumping supplies, we needed to increase our pipelines. Those conversations as part of the planning did not happen. But we are playing a catch-up now, and community is rightly angry with us. I'll give you one more example before you ask the next question. On the other side, I get a lot of angry phone calls about when we say there's turbidity in Waimanu River. They say, why can't you fix it? Another question. When you look at Waimanu River and you look back all the reports that have ever been done about Waimanu River, State of Environment Report of Fiji in 2013, it flags serious concerns about gravel and sand extraction from Waimanu River. Now, don't have to answer it, but do you think Water Authority would have said, yes, go ahead and dredge all the sand if we were given an opportunity to contribute or ask that question? So we are the only capital city that I know of that has its major water intake structure downstream of sand and gravel extraction. And that lease has just recently been renewed. So we then are often faced with, and every time it rains, that same sand and gravel ends up in our pumping stations. It impacts on our ability to pump. So again, it's a decision that's outside our control that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Notwithstanding that, we are an organization that dives deep in the water intake structures at 2 o'clock in the morning, so when you wake up there's water there. We stand in the rain on the long weekends to make sure that there is water available to you. So we came up with an alternate solution of how we can continue to supply. And that alternate solution is to get a pipeline from Savani to Dolesuva. Now that project is now in the pipeline for about 5 months. One landowner, all it takes to stop any project. It takes a long time to then negotiate and go through the process of approvals. In the last 2 years, Water Authority it costed the taxpayers of Fiji about $5 million on land-related delays on our projects. So the project, Savani to Dolesuva, is right now in the hands of landowners. We need to locate a pump station somewhere along the way because we have to lift the water up 170 meters, and we can't do that without a pumping station. So until that land issue is resolved, we can't really get on with construction. So there are examples like that where it almost is challenging. You have to play this chess almost on a daily basis to make sure that the water supply is continued.